Hey, Derek Keith, Remax Elite.
Mark Demong of 97th Street Law.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. So today we're talking about when we talk about lawyers, there's real estate lawyers, there's attorney, there's all these kind of words that pop up. And how are they different? Most people think lawyer is lawyer, but it's not always the case. And what's the difference? And how do the specialties kind of add into there? All right. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, give us that thumbs up. Thanks. All right. So, what do you think? What do you think, Mark?
A lot of different ways, names for lawyer, and the ones that we can discuss on this network.
The nice names, I mean,
Right,
yes.
right. The word we hear very commonly is attorney, and that's something that we bring it in from the American system. That's how they refer to their lawyers.
Right.
In Canada, we refer to a lawyer, or if you want to get a bit more specific, we follow the British tradition, and we would refer to a barrister and solicitor.
Right.
A barrister meaning a lawyer who approaches the bench or approaches the bar in the courtroom and then advocates on behalf of a client, whereas a solicitor is a lawyer who does the paperwork, does the desk work, and generally speaking would not approach or go to court.
Right.
In Canada, we don't really differentiate, and earlier in my practice I used to do a fair amount of litigation, and so I would both be in court and I would be in my office doing my own paperwork, so I guess I would have been a barrister and solicitor in those days. These days, it's been a long time since I've been in court, and so now I would indicate my practice as more or less solicitor's work, where I'm just pushing paper, moving it from one side of the desk to the other.
Right.
Sounds boring, but I enjoy the work that I do. I enjoy the clients that I meet with in my solicitor's practice these days.
For sure. And I guess the difference is we've got so like how does the real estate lawyer, like when you have a real estate lawyer, then they're handling more real estate stuff, or is there a technicality in there? Is there extra, like how does that work?
I guess when you're dealing with a real estate lawyer, you want somebody who has broad experience dealing with real estate, because it's a particular type of law. It has to some extent its own little language, and again, it's to a great extent it's interpreting a contract, but it's similar concepts that come up in the contractual interpretation time and time again throughout the course of my business year.
Right. What's having that experience? Like obviously they're a professional in dealing with all those sort of things, right? Where you have a divorce lawyer, or there's different those types of lawyers as well, right?
That's it, yeah. And if you're getting divorced and it's going to be a contested court battle,
you may not want a real estate real estate lawyer.
Yeah, right. You got that right. And similarly, I've got some colleagues that I've worked with in the past who limit their practice. They only do family law.
Okay.
And when they come across a transaction that involves the sale of property, then I'll assist them with the sale. They will maintain the client's work as far as it relates to the divorce and the court application. Right, so in those cases, yes, there are two very different lanes, and the contractual interpretation and the infrastructure that I have with a real estate paralegal to implement the terms and complete the real estate transaction is very different. I mean, personnel-wise, it looks the same, because you have a litigation lawyer and a family law lawyer has a paralegal usually assisting them with document preparation. But those different jobs are quite dramatically different, and for the most part, real estate paralegals don't care to do family law documents, and vice versa as well.
And paralegal, so I guess that's when the paralegal takes care of, basically supports the lawyer, more or less, right?
That's right. A lawyer involved in a particular type of law practice will understand the law both from a granular perspective and from a higher level.
Right.
And it's the paralegal who interprets things from that granular perspective. So when I see a real estate contract, I'm looking for a couple of things. Who is my client, buyer or seller? What is the closing date? How much has been paid as a deposit? What's the balance due to close? What are the other special conditions or terms of that particular agreement? And from that, which is a very kind of a 10,000 foot level understanding, I'll hand that to my paralegal, and she will go ahead and prepare all of the necessary documents to implement the terms of that contract.
Make it happen.
Right, and so she spent enough time working with me that she knows when Well, it's simple. The first document that we will end up doing when we look at a contract is what we call a statement of adjustments.
Yep.
And the statement of adjustments says what's the sale price, how much has been paid as a deposit, how much is left to pay at the closing of the transaction, and are there any adjustments for things like prepaid condominium fees or taxes that are paid or unpaid. And so that document, it just kind of goes without saying that on any particular real estate transaction, we're going to have a statement of adjustments.
Yep.
But there's nothing in the contract that says there will be a statement of adjustments, and it will be
Right.
prepared by the seller.
Right. But just making sure all that stuff is lined up. Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. All right. Any other? Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Is there any other names or nice names, or I don't know. Yes.